Hey folks, this is Mike here with another NoScript video where I'm going to have an unedited, unscripted discussion here on a game called MudRunner, a Spintires game. Or rather on Steam it's called Spintires: MudRunner. Either way, it's the same game. It is a sequel of sorts to the game called Spintires, which if you've not seen it before, we'll go ahead and load up a challenge here. This game gives you a nice short tutorial. Keeps it really short, really simple, and then it suggests you to start doing these challenges where you'll start learning a lot more mechanics about the game. So it's a really nice setup, and it's a really fun thing because these challenges are, well, they're pretty straightforward, and they also give you some bonus objectives if you really want to bring it up to the next level. So we'll start with this second challenge here because it'll give you an idea of a lot of the mechanics in a pretty short period of time. Got this nice truck here. You briefly saw the fuel tank was lit up because it's empty. As the prompt there says, is we're out of gas. We gotta get a truck of fuel. So we switch to this guy. This guy's fuel tank is empty in the back, though you don't really see it just yet. And we're also fully damaged, so we can also use the map to switch to another vehicle. This vehicle happens to have a utility thing that can repair vehicles. So, what are the basics? Well, in this case, we don't have to worry about the diff lock. We can activate, deactivate all-wheel drive. We can leave it in automatic, or we can manually control first gear, reverse, and a high gear. What's nice about these gears is the first and the reverse have kind of 3 levels of input, if you will. So you have a fully engaged clutch and then 2 levels of slippage, which is really useful. Let's see if I could kind of show it here. Yeah, not a particularly good example. Let's see if I can get it stuck. You can see it on a high gear. We're powering. We're not going anywhere fast, and eventually we'll start kind of digging in the truck, or we can start stalling too. Let's see, can we get the truck stuck here? Alright, we're stuck. Whoops. Oh, there's a tree and there's a mountain in the way. Alright. So we're stuck in the sense that we can go forwards, we ain't going over that diff. So one of the things you can do is you can turn on all-wheel drive. That might help you get over. It actually kind of did. So let's just back up a little bit more. You can also start slipping the clutch. So if you look at, you can see kind of the wheels stuttering a little bit in the back. It's attempting to gain traction, whereas if we put it in full run, you know, we're just spinning at this point. We're not trying to get any traction per se. So if you're truly stuck, you can do that kind of stuff, and it's pretty freaking satisfying to do that. So on top of that, there's a lot of terrain deformation going on. There's a lot of physicsy stuff going on as well with the suspension, the cargo as well, as we'll see with the other big trucks. There's different cargo loads. There's different terrain, like the muddy water coming up here. You know, you have stuff like river crossings, really steep mountains with like rock surfaces and stuff like that. You know, it's just a really fun kind of mudding slash trucking slash kind of big rigsy in a sense, right? Because you gotta carry payloads to different areas and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just this really fun, satisfying blend of nice, cool stuff that you don't see in any other game. And that was really fun about the original Spintires. I remember when that came out. Heck, I remember before that even came out, I remember the tech demo for it. It looked really cool seeing all this, you know, mud and stuff being pushed around as vehicles are going through, and you know, it was a really neat looking thing. So we just used the repair thing, which is the box on the back here, to repair this vehicle. We'll see. We'll see in a bit. I'll load my single player game real quick. But we'll see in a bit that you can change these attachments and you can do some pretty cool stuff. But anyway, so this truck here, we can manually engage the diff locks, we can manually engage all-wheel drive. So I'll leave it in automatic. You'll see as it's going up the gears on its own. Actually, I'll lock all of this stuff. We'll hit a point where the truck's gonna just like bog down, and then it'll slowly start downshifting. And that's why you kind of end up using the manual transmission a lot more, because as nice as it is having the automatic and having the speed, mind you, these challenge missions are a bit easier. You know, they're very small, limited map areas compared to the actual game. But one of the things is that when you're carrying around a lot of loads and stuff, you get stuck pretty quickly, pretty easily. So there you go. We kind of bogged down there and I let off. So switch it to first. We don't need all-wheel drive and diff locks, do we? Okay, maybe we need the diff lock, but we're here. Let's go ahead and fill her up. Again, you can see the weight sloshing around when you start moving, so you do have to keep that in mind when you're balancing the truck, because it actually is an issue. Maybe not as much with the fuel like this, but with the other truck we're about to use, with the log trailer, yeah, it's definitely a concern where weight transfer, especially if you're like going over oscillating terrain, going, you know, left to right kind of deal, you can find yourself swinging that weight around to the point where it just tips over, and that's no good because you end up losing your load. And you know, if you're doing a single player mission of sorts, that really sucks because you have to go back, get some more logs and carry them all the way back, which could take a while. Throw in high gear, I suppose. Don't have too many things to worry about on this map. This is also a road that's familiar to me, so I know I could afford to go a little quicker, and I won't get too badly stuck. I won't damage the truck or anything. Mind you, these challenge missions run on casual mode, so I can afford to have the diff locked all the time. The hardcore you can't, because, well, depends how fast you're going. But yeah, if you have the diff locked, you will slowly damage the diff on the other car. Alright. We're in a big truck here. We'll leave it in automatic again. See if I can get it to really dig in, get stuck. Yeah, you can see how, you know, open differentials behave, which is not ideal. Another thing you'll notice too is if I engage all-wheel drive, fuel consumption shoots way up. So that's also a concern on more hardcore difficulties. So of course, being a challenge mode, there are optional objectives. One of them is to not use the bridge and instead just cross the river over here. There's a second one, which is to actually destroy pumpkins, and I believe the third one is to do all of this without using the winch. So there are winches in this game. If you play on, say, hardcore, one of the things you'll learn about is certain trucks cannot, your basic small truck can be recovered to the garage. I believe it does cost points though. I'm not sure if it's the same points you used to progress. But yeah, you kind of want to avoid doing that. And so instead you have to go out there. You know, once your truck's over and they can't run, it's done for. You have to get in there and have another vehicle rescue it and winch it along. So we'll see if I can show you the water here. So like the mud, the water does behave reasonably realistically. You can see it, yeah, you can see it build up on the front, or where the current's pushing, and then there's a bit of a cavity on the back side. Keep going. Yeah, it's not too bad. Unfortunately, this river is not deep enough. You know, it is pushing the truck a little bit, but not all that much. Some other rivers can be a bit deeper. Actually, this one was pushing it a little bit. But like I said, it's, you know, this is supposed to be a challenge mission. It's supposed to still be kind of part of the tutorial, kind of not part of the tutorial, but mind you, the game does say, hey, you really should play those challenge missions before you play single player. So I still consider it kind of part of the tutorial, but in a much more fun package. Some of the later challenge missions do deal with deeper river crossings where you have to worry about, you know, flooding your engine, that kind of stuff. There's the pumpkin patch if I wanted to do the optional mission. But I won't keep you guys waiting too long. I do want to load up my single player and kind of give you guys an idea what that looks like. But yeah, deeper rivers definitely have the risk of losing a truck in there. You definitely have the risk of getting washed away. I've had that happen in one of the challenge missions. It's a little brutal when it happens because there's not a whole lot you can do once you start getting washed away. And in the case of one of the missions, you actually get washed away to like the sea kind of thing. So there actually is no way for you to recover that truck. It's gone. It's gone for good. So yeah, there you go. I got 4 points. We're done the mission. Took a bit longer, but hey, you know, we're showing off stuff. So that's challenges. There's not a whole lot of them. There's these 9 challenges. On the single player front, this is the mission I'm currently on. There's 6 plus the DLC. The DLC is free, by the way. And I've heard good things about this map, actually. But as you start playing, you have your primary objective, which is to get the logs from these 2 areas, the log stations down to the lumber mill. And you also get some points for unlocking the garage and reaching all the waypoints. So if you look here, since I'm in hardcore mode, some of the differences are you can't engage the diff lock in automatic, and you can also damage the truck if you're driving on hard surfaces. So, you know, if you're really stretching the differential, you can damage it. Especially if you're driving quickly, you can damage the diff. So you have to be careful. Log stations are disabled, so in other words, I'm not just going in, clicking load up a truck. I have to get a vehicle with a crane, or 2 vehicles, depending how you want to do it. I have to manually pick up logs and fill up the vehicle. It's not too difficult to do that, but you know, it is an extra little step. The navigation routes, which were the red stripe telling you where to go, you don't see that anymore. You just see a circle. You have to follow a compass. Damaged trucks don't work as well, and also physics-wise, the truck will try and auto steer down hills, kind of like in real life. So it does make that a little bit more challenging. Alright. So we're in nighttime. I can turn on some lights. This game actually looks really good, especially at night when you consider how some other games tend to look at night. We just unlocked this big dude, a nice front-end loader, which presumably would be really good to pick up some logs. Let's change back to this guy. I know there's another truck. Oh, just a little too far back. Just leave it an automatic. Try to move a little bit further back. Truck right there. So this little... These are Russian vehicles, so it won't be a Jeep. Guess it's a Lada? I don't know if it actually is. It does have the classic Jeep grille though. Maybe a Lada. Ooh, this truck doesn't look too bad. So I've also unlocked this one. So when you start your mission, to give you an idea, the area we're in was about this big, maybe a little bit bigger. So we're kind of in the corner of a map, but the actual map itself is quite large. It does take quite a while to get to one area, from one area to another. So I do have one more truck locked. I want to go see what this guy has, and then yeah, we could go back to a garage as well if we wanted to. So hey, if I wanted a fuel truck, I could totally do that. Let's change to this one. So garage parts, if I open the map, I believe you need 4 garage parts. Yeah, this garage here. So if I need to refit a vehicle or repair it, and I don't want to depend on a portable truck that has repair points and fueling and stuff. Actually, the only way you could fully fuel is a fuel station. You can fuel a little bit at a garage, but not full. So if I wanted to be able to use this garage, because there's 2 log kiosks nearby, I'd have to, either drive 2 trucks or 1 truck twice with 2-point things, or I can also, actually if I go back, I can also fit this one has a semi-trailer that's fittable. That's kind of cool. Is there a trailer hitch? Oh, this one doesn't have it. Oh, I can fit the trailer though. There we go. Oh, the semi-trailer would be so much easier. This trailer is really wonky because it's very narrow track and a lot of weight off of the edge, so it wobbles a lot. So actually the semi-trailer would be better. This vehicle can't use a semi-trailer. So I'd have to carry that plus that if I wanted to do it in one trip. Can this guy fit? Let's uninstall that. Oh, there you go. Oh wait, the other truck might have had the hitch after all. Maybe I just missed it. Oh yeah, there you go. So I could, in theory, do that. Got the semi-trailer. Oh, that looks pretty heavy though. Huh. Okay. Cool. I probably don't want to do that just yet. Let's just kind of keep this video somewhat short. We'll go see what this truck is like, and maybe bring one of these guys home. And at the same time, I'll show you. Let's do that. So when I switch to him, you'll get an idea of what the navigation looks like. So notice on my compass there, I have to go right a little bit. Oh, let's open that diff before I hurt it. You want to keep all-wheel drive on though. You can really vaguely see the circle over there, so I don't get the line anymore. So yeah, one of the other neat parts or interesting things is the auto steer aspect. So they talk about hills. But one of the things they don't really mention in the description is how much this, like especially a small truck like this, it tramlines hard, so it wants to stay in these 2 ruts, which kind of makes it a little bit easier to drive because you're no longer, swaying the car or the truck back and forth to try and keep it in the lane. It kind of wants to do that on its own. But it does come with the downside of it. Not exactly wanting to, it doesn't exactly want to turn as well either. Maybe 1? I could do that while I drive, mind you. No, we need a little bit extra torque. was just trying to see if I can get it to go over the mud and stop digging in. Okay. I can see depth-wise it's pretty close. And there's little depth markings here. I think the track to the right, this is actually shallower than this. I'm slightly afraid that this is too deep for this truck. Ooh. Yep. Yep. Let's try around the corner over there. So one of the things is, if I actually do stall the truck, one of the problems you run into is you can't winch it once you're stuck, which is not a good thing. If I wanted to save some time now, I could always just do this. And I winch it to the left there. I just winch myself forwards. One thing I could also do, I could also have this truck and another one kind of pull each other forward in a tandem, if you will. And that would actually allow me to cross these rivers a little bit better. Yeah, this is as shallow as it gets. We'll go for it. Oh boy. It's getting pushed pretty hard. Oh, we're close. Oh, we're done. Stop engine. Alright, we're done. This guy's gonna get pushed along for for a good long while, I think. He'll probably end up here. Well, that was that. We could attempt to rescue him. Go ahead and try and get that done if we can. Is that my truck? That can't be my truck. Could be. Oh yeah. Huh, that's weird. It like fell that way. That looks a little buggy, but we'll roll with it. Actually, it's not very deep here. It is more shallow over there. But for a bigger truck like this, it's actually not all that deep. It is slightly scary that... Oh, right. It's slightly scary this truck doesn't have a diff lock, but I just realized this because it's automatic. Ooh. Let's say it's not that deep. Yeah. Alright. I was almost about to say maybe I'm wrong here. And that it's maybe a little bit too deep. Push ourselves along a little bit. Parking brake is also kind of important here, as it allows you to actually stop the truck from moving as much. It won't. It's not like a... Oh boy. Oh, can we get it? Can we save it? Yeah, we can save it. Don't worry. We got this. Oh. Famous last words. Let's make sure we actually got this before I say that. Alright, now we got this. So yeah, on the parking brake discussion there. sometimes you do have to use the parking brake. So if you don't, the truck has a tendency to roll a little bit. And when the truck rolls, that's kind of a bad thing. It does hold you in place a bit better than, you know, just... can I get it to... I need it to flip the other way. Which I mean, I'd have to... There we go. Now we're good. Hey, we can do some tandem stuff. So if I actually switch the winch here... Oops. Oh, it switched to drive on its own. Weird. So how screwed is this truck now? Pretty bad. I'll repair itself. I'll actually fuel the big truck too while we're at it. Do that. Oh. Okay. Whew. Thought the game might have crashed there for a sec. Alright, we're good to go. The joys of this game. It really is... It really is something different. You know, it's a pretty unique game. I kind of wish there was more like it out there. You know, it's not perfect by any means, but this is definitely a nice step forward from the previous Spintires game. You know, I kind of wish it had a little bit more content. It definitely has a lot more game than the original Spintires had. Which is a huge plus for me. You know, the first one, while good, it felt very tech demo-y in the sense that it had content, but it didn't have that much, right? It didn't have that much variety. It felt very much like they were relying on it being, you know, this kind of sandbox thing. Also, here's a cool little trick here. If I hit F for the winch button, I'm not getting that guy to drive. So you can also use your trucks in tandem that way and have them help each other out. But yeah, you know, the first game, enjoyable, but not enough game to it, right? It was like a neat concept. I had some fun with it, but I always wished they kind of had more. And they kind of delivered on this one, but they didn't deliver enough, I feel like. But on the flip side, this game is also, at least on PC, on Steam, it's not a full price game, so yeah, I can't complain that much about it. On top of that, I picked it up on the Steam sale, which... Oh, I missed my turning point, didn't I? Well, we'll turn here. Yeah, on top of that, I picked it up on a Steam sale, and I think it was $20 on the Steam sales, which 20 Canadian, mind you, instead of the regular like $40 that it is, which I think is a really good price, all things considered. I'll probably put a fair amount of time in this game. It'll definitely be worth its money, but yeah, like I said, the big thing is that this has more game to it than, you know, the first one in the series. And it seems like they're gonna be trying some new stuff as well. When the DLC came out, they also announced that, hey, we're looking at making a new one after this. And we're trying to make it, you know, this is very Russian themed at the moment, but they're trying to make an American themed one. They're looking to license vehicles, presumably the terrain. It might not be as much of this kind of muddy stuff. They might do more, you know, hilly, rocky sort of things, which also would be really cool, right? Oh, I'm about to do something kind of stupid. Let's avoid going over a big boulder. Well, this truck probably has no issues with it. Something tells me that little Jeep, Lada, whatever you want to call it. Actually, here, whatever you want to call it, it's a... In this game, it's an A469. Whoops. There you go. That's what you can call it. Yeah, they've talked about, you know, they're looking to make a new game. So I think that's a really neat thing. I think the American themed one can lead to some really interesting stuff. And so yeah, best of luck to these guys. They clearly seem to have something neat going on. I found a lot of fun playing this. I found a lot of fun playing with the first one as well. So I can see this being a pretty solid game. Why is this the same? Oh no, it's not the same truck. Kinda wish I had a better understanding what these different models are. This one does seem like a bigger, potentially bigger vehicle. Should probably look it up eventually. Yeah, there's a lot of different models, and I don't quite know all the differences and all that stuff from one model to the next. Anyway, we'll end it here, right? Like I said, you know, the main objective, I think in that short period of time, we only did this much. We have like a quarter of the distance to go. So normally I'd be, I'd probably start bringing some of these trucks back and maybe getting one or two of them up to this garage. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, definitely bring back some of the trucks at least. Yeah, I might, because this is hardcore. It's a little bit different. Because I did do this map in regular, and I was able to actually had a really cool truck up here that I unlocked, and I had no problems carrying logs between these guys. But now all the trucks I have available to me right now, you know, they're not like big, wide, super low, you know, kind of deal. The truck I did have available to me was one of those six-wheeler kind of deals. So yeah, I'd probably want to get something up to the garage here to unlock it, and then refit that truck to do the distance here and bring some logs back, and then maybe come down to this one, bring some back. But I'm not sure if I'll need two trucks to do it. Also very curious how this thing works. Never really used it. How does the loader work? Okay. Ah. So you can grab some logs. Okay. Okay, kind of cool. But yeah, I'd look if I can fit some of these trucks to get the big logs, because you get more points that way. And that's one way to actually finish some of these maps potentially quicker. Anywho, that is MudRunner, a Spintires game, and yeah, it's a really neat thing. I like the fact there's also mod support for this, and I've liked how they both simplified it but made it better at the same time with this new version. And I hope the future versions of this game continue that improvement, because Up until now, I've had some good times with this one, and I definitely will keep an eye on the future games coming out from them.